Okay, so this is going to be a quick video about BNPL, Buy Now Pay Later, for homeowners and how to actually apply this to your roofing company. Now, this is actually broken down into 6 different SOP documents, if you must, and I've kind of like broken down the exact structure, how it works, what you need to do, what they need to do, a written contract that you need to provide to them that we actually sat down with the lawyers and kind of constructed that out for you guys already, and some T's and C's and stuff as well, right? So with that being said, let's get started. Hopefully you should be able to see my screen now. Boom. So the way it works, right? We are using a provider called Bright, which is much more of a home improvement finance provider, which lends people money, right? And when we say people, well, generally speaking, there are 4 different parties involved, right? It's us, it's you, it's the homeowner, and it's Bright itself. So here's how it works. Our job is to provide you lead, right? So to get the lead's name, number, address, what they want, when they want. Your job is to go out there and quote the job. Pretty easy, right? You should be able to give them a price, and from that price, if the homeowner doesn't have that much money or they can't kind of cough up that money, they will kind of reach out to Bright. Bright is a finance provider, right? So Bright kind of just pushes money out to homeowners that are looking to get their home done, if you must, and kind of gives them a loan, right? This loan is interest-free up to a certain degree. So it's interest-free up to, I think, 36 months. And if you fail a payment, obviously they would have to pay some sort of interest on it, right? So that's the 4 different parties involved here. With that being said, here's how the money flows. The homeowner pays you a deposit, right? Whenever you're starting a roofing job, you obviously take 5-10% deposit for a roof replacement, for example, right? From that, once you take the deposit, the rest remaining amount is what you tell Bright that the homeowner owes you, right? Bright does its background check, make sure the homeowner can actually repay the money back to Bright, and Bright will give you that money, right? So just to kind of give you an example, let's say if you have a $50,000 roof replacement, here's how you would kind of like tally these numbers up. So full contract price is $50,000. Deposit, let's say you take 10% deposit, although I'm pretty sure in Victoria you can only take around 5%, and you might need to double check with your own state. But let's say for this example, we say 10%, right? So $5,000 is something that you're going to ask directly to the homeowner, right? So the homeowner pays you $5,000. You start the work. Now, midway through, right, the amount that you're going to tell Bright that the homeowner owes you is going to be $45,000, not $50,000, because the homeowner has already paid you $5,000, so they don't need to pay you another $5,000 on top, right? So you will tell Bright, hey, this guy owes me $45,000. Great. Bright will do its thing, background checks, and once it's approved, great. As soon as you're done with the work, you have to send a message to Bright, perhaps like, verify the job's done, and the Bright will release the money over to you in full amount. So it will send you $45,000 directly, right? Now, with that being said, just 2 more case scenarios here. So let's say if you have a contract price of $30,000, you take 5% deposit, so that's $1,500. You will request to Bright that, hey, this guy owes me $28,000, and Bright will pay you $28,000. Now, the 1.5 that you took already and $28,000 combined is $30,000. Right, and another work example is this one, the second one, which is $35,000, right? So let's say if your contract price is $35,000, your deposit, let's say if you take 5% deposit, is 1.7. You tell Bright, hey, this guy owes me $33,000. You get paid for the deposit straight away. Bright will figure out the rest. Once the job is done, Bright will only send you $33,000 in your pocket because you already took the $1,000 out, right? So that's the maths behind this. Now, here is the key important bit, right? When you should ask Bright for money, right? And when you should actually start the work. So here are some terminologies that I want you to get familiar with. So when it says started, it means it has started the process of kind of going through the homeowner's application to verify they have enough money to kind of repay them back in the future. Can you start work in this period? Probably not, because if this application fails, then you have already started the work, you're going to lose a lot of money, right? Obviously, you're not going to start it when it's pending as well. Same for more information required. The only time you want to start this is when it says approved, right? And the problem that I've kind of like run into, and I was reading a few horror stories on Facebook about this as well, is that people started work when it was approved for a lower amount. That means Bright wasn't able or wasn't confident in pushing out 30 grand to the homeowner based on their salary and their past expenditures and stuff like that. Instead, they gave them 10 grand, right? And the roofer started the roof either way. So for you to kind of avoid that situation completely, just wait for an approval, and only once you have the approval, you can start the work. The way I would treat the deposit here is going to be like a refundable deposit, just so you know that homeowner is committed to this process with you, right? Instead of kind of taking the deposit, making sure that their Bright turns up properly and starting the work beforehand. Only wait for approvals. If it says decline, obviously don't work. And if it says payment pending, that means after the job has been completed, you have to send Bright much more of a verification message saying, hey, the payment has been the job has been done, and Bright will send you a message saying payment pending, basically meaning that, hey, look, everything's been done and we're going to pay you out soon. And paid obviously means that you've been paid for the job, right? Here is a quick checklist that you can kind of go through as well. And then coming down to here, right? And just to kind of like give you much more of a worked example again. For example, let's say if your full contract is 30 grand and the homeowner paid your deposit of 1.5 thousand, the amount of money that you're going to request to Bright is going to be 28,000, right? Let's say for some instant, Bright is like, no, this guy's not trustable. This homeowner, we don't think he can repay back 20,000. But look, on the bright side, we'll give him 22,000. Do you start off your work in that case? Probably not, because there is a bit of a shortfall of $6.5 thousand, right? That needs to be recouped somehow. So it's either you make plans with the homeowner yourself. You're like, hey, Mister, look, either you pay me $6.5 thousand midway through the work, or something like that, right? Best case scenario, from what I've kind of talked to the lawyers about and stuff like that, they always advise not to start and just pay back the deposit because it's not worth the risk. When it comes to expectations, especially when it comes to the timing of the payment and how quickly the payment is released, here's what I've kind of like figured out, right? So when it comes to you signing up to Bright, it takes about 10 minutes. The only thing that will kind of like push this out is if you don't have, company details, if you don't have a license or any sort of ID and stuff like that. When it comes to the review, Bright will give you an answer within 1 hour, right? Unless it has to do its own private checks like commercial checks, extra documentations and stuff like that. For homeowners, it takes them around 20 minutes on average, unless they have a missing ID, they don't provide the income, or they are just hiding some information that Bright needs. For credit decision, it takes them around 1 to 3 days, right? Basically saying that, hey, for it to be like, look, I can lend you $28,000 homeowner, it's going to take them 1 to 3 days to kind of make that decision based on their income, based on their expenses and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to the job being done and you're requesting money from Bright after the job's been completed, usually you should get this on the next day, business day, by the way. The only thing that's going to kind of extend this is weekends, if there's a Telstra dispute or cut off, whatever Telstra's going through at the moment, right? Or any of those patches, which is generally not really the case, right? So here's what to say to homeowner, right? So if you see a homeowner, just don't say, hey, look, it's a guaranteed instant approval. Just tell them it's a fast online assessment. Generally speaking, we want to try and get the bar as low as possible. So we will tell them it may take up to 3 days. From my experience, when I was doing my research, I think it probably most people got their acceptance within the first day, right? But just to set the expectation there. Now, you can also see if the customer's request has been approved or declined as well, by the way. So that's first document, kind of just to show you how things work. When it comes to the second document, this is something that you'll be kind of going through step by step on signing up with Bright itself, right? So I've kind of like gone through Bright's whole onboarding process, and I've kind of jotted everything down in step-by-step position, right? So step one, we need to prepare. Things that you need to be prepared for would be your ABN, ACN, trading name, your personal documents to identify who you are, your bank statements and stuff like that for your business, your trade registration, all of that stuff, website, Gmail, email, phone number, stuff like that, right? You also need to give it your average work value or job value, right? Annual turnover and expected financial volume. How many jobs are you expecting this year for you to use Bright for, right? So that's some things that you need to kind of be prepared for before applying with Bright. Step 2 is you want to kind of confirm a few details in writing. And step 3 is configure the account, right? So obviously how to kind of go about making the account and stuff like that. You can just follow these steps. It's pretty simple, to be honest. Step 4 is just to make sure that you have Bright as a payment partner, right? So for example, the way you want to present this to homeowners is like, hey, look, you can pay me either by this, or you can use Bright, right? And you can direct them to the Bright link that they give you for them to kind of sign up with. Okay, so that's your side of things. When it comes to the customer side of things, this is what they see, right? Now, obviously, this is something that you can provide to your customers as well. This is a complete SOP document for them to kind of go through this as well. It's step-by-step labeled out exactly what they need to do. Although, with that being said, you do not collect any sort of credit card information, income, liability, ID, bank, personal information that you don't really need, right? Just because I feel like, you might be able to get into some legal troubles if you start doing this application for them, right? It's better for them to do this application by themselves. Here are some things that they kind of need to go through, right? So they need to put in exactly what needs to be done with the roof. So this is something that you can kind of help them out with, right? So when you provide your quote, you need to tell them exactly what needs to be done, the material, the warranty, the things that you'll be including in this project, how much money they kind of need from Bright. And to be honest, really that's about it. They need to, however, have a referral, which is a bit important, right? So with that being said, what they need to do is they need to kind of put in exactly how much they need from Bright, right, without your deposit included. So if your deposit again was $1,000 and the total home value or the roof value was 30 grand, they should only put in 29 grand, for example, right? And yeah, that's about it. That's all they need to do. The process is very damn simple. It's probably going to take them around 10-15 minutes, right? And yes, that's all, right? You can kind of read through this document, so there are some more important things in this document that you might want to go through, but that's about really it, right? When it comes to document number 4, the goal here is to kind of make this process as easy as not only for you, but also the homeowner, right? So we want to try and reduce frictions as soon as possible, right? Or as much as possible. With that being said, I'll be working with you guys to make sure that this process goes through pretty smoothly, right? So I'll be providing you with the lead's name, address, everything. If you need, I can also help you out with scripting messages. On there, we have messages that you can actually send to the customers as well. With, for example, obviously you need to change some things in there like custom values, such as hi first name, you just change their name and you can kind of copy and paste this message to them, right? And here is also a checklist that you might want to kind of go through when you are dealing with Bright. And that's about it for number 4. Lastly, number 5 is a contract. Look, this will be on your high-level app. I will kind of record another video on how to access this as well. But to kind of give you like an overarching view, this is how the contract kind of looks. It kind of states everything, right? It breaks down the exact total amount again, how much deposit, how much they need to borrow from Bright, and if they have any other approvals that they are waiting for or something like that, right? And it's really important for you to kind of like go through this contract as well, and if there are some changes that you want to get done with this, just let me know and I can kind of sort that out for you guys as well. There are going to be some custom values, obviously, like date, amount that would differ for each and every single person. So whenever we see like a homeowner, obviously we'll change these values like date, amount, the homeowner's name, the deposit, stuff like that, right? And if you're ever wondering, Sam, how the fuck did you get all of this information? Where did you scour all this information? All the sources are here for you to kind of like refer this back to. If you want to have your own staff look at some of this stuff, everything's there for you to kind of look at as well. Either way, man, that was it. Hopefully this will help us quite a bit. At the moment, the offer that I'm thinking of running is going to be something like, we will replace your roof with $77 per week or some shit like that, right? Something catchy, or we'll replace your roof, only pay $77 per week, right? And that's one of the offers that somebody else was running down in Southern Australia. So they were doing $77 for 36 months, and that's how long they were getting people involved in. Now, I'll be sending all of this information through as well. If you want to have a look, I will try and upload this on a Drive link, so you can just go through this whenever you have time. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Bye.